Hello again, Dr. Jimmy, and this is now part 17 of my History of Halloween Horror Nights 21. And I'm going right into it from where I left off the previous video. So this is the same day, same t-shirt, no worries. Saw, right? And I left off talking about Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. I was talking about the different things that happened. I was talking about Papa Smurf and Smurfette, I think, right at the end of the last one. And yeah, and there was quite a lot of stuff about drug humor with Papa Smurf, that he was stoned out of his mind. I think they had, after that, yes, they had a lot of that sort of humor. They had a lot of other interesting things. They did a parody of Captain America, which probably would have driven Donald Trump crazy if he had seen it, because it was Capitano Mexicano. And he was like Captain America, but he was wearing Mexican colors and had a tire rim instead of a shield. And I love the lines, "My churro fights for freedom," or something like, "My churro aches for freedom." It was very amusing. They had a parody of True Grit that had been remaked. They like that. They did my favorite, Black Swan. The Black Swan had come out, so they had a sort of dance duel between the black and white swans. One of them laid an egg. It got really disturbing. Anthony Weiner came out and chased them off with his, his sexting. Let's see what else happened. Lady Gaga made some appearances. So did Nicki Minaj. There was a wonderful bit with Nicki Minaj and Conan O'Brien, who was Conan O'Brien, the Barbarian. So he comes down in a Conan the Barbarian outfit, bare-chested, all of that, but he's Conan O'Brien, so he is whiter than I am, and that's pretty white. It was blinding. And there were some amusing racial jokes between him and Nicki Minaj when they discovered that they liked the swirl. Yeah. There was Katy Perry. That was more toward the end, though. Let's see, going back to it. Highlight of the show. Highlight of the show was, of course, the death of Osama bin Laden, who had been wiped out earlier that year by SEAL Team 6. So you have the evil Osama come through, and he's sneaking around, and he runs off into that little building off to the side, at the far right of the stage, and hides in there. Now, SEAL Team 6 members are chasing him, and they have with them an angry bird, the black angry bird. That's a bomb angry bird, and they throw the bomb bird into the thing. There's an explosion. Osama bin Laden is destroyed. Then they take off the SEAL Team 6 outfits, and they reveal themselves to be President Barack Obama and former President George W. Bush. And so the two of them took out Osama together. They shake hands, say that's bipartisanship. So it was a nice little message about political unity, and cheering that we got Osama bin Laden. So that was that. There was also again another Twilight joke yet again. This time Twilight and True Blood both featured. Or was that the year before? It seems to me it was this year when they had I think maybe that was the year they had the fat, grotesquely, yes, the obese version of Edward, and sort of like, and then they had the Beverly Hillbilly versions of the True Blood characters. It was like, once upon a time, the man named Bill instead of man named Jed. And of course, it's not crude; it's blood. True blood, that is. So they had that sort of thing. That was quite amusing. Of course, eventually they convince Eugene that he can't blow up the Earth or destroy Bill and Ted's, and they have to sing and dance for no reason. Typical ending. Charlie Sheen is the one who showed up at the end and set everyone straight, because he's a wizard, ninja, assassin, or whatever the hell he is. Warlock, assassin, I forget what the shit it is. But he comes at the end and just like, he's like the voice of reason. And Charlie Sheen is the voice of reason. We're doomed. So he does that. Then we all sing and dance for no reason. Like I said, there was Lady Gaga, there was Katy Perry, there was Nicki Minaj, and then of course there was a Beastie Boys number at the end as a tribute to the late, I think it was MCA who died. Which one died? It wasn't Ad Rock or Mike D. It was MCA, so they did that sort of a tribute. And they also had one of the more popular numbers from that summer was featured in the ending, which was, of course, that party rock anthem by Laughing My Ass Off, LMFAO. So that was fun. So it was a very good show, quite funny, but not as good as previous years. I liked the show, but I know it didn't. It was, you know, it's the first time Patrick Baird tried to write it, and it didn't quite hit as fun as previous years. Although there were moments in the show that were hysterically funny for me, but then I'm easy. All right. Now, the last thing about Halloween Horror Nights 21 to talk about, the very last bit. The very last bit. After I'm done with the shows, right, the last bit that's left were the interactive games. Now, that's not Legendary Truth, it's not anything A&D cooked up, it was all through publicity and marketing, but the idea is Lady Luck, so let's have some gambling, let's do some games of chance, let's have some fun that way. And what they would do is all through social media and Twitter, and what they did was they would send out a tweet, meet at a certain part of the park at a certain time on a certain night, and you're ready, and everyone's got their phones, and if it goes off, they look to see what the tweet is, and the first 21 people to get to a specific spot would get a prize. And I saw at least 2 or 3 of these happening. I participated in at least 2, and I won lovely prizes. For example, one of the tweet-ups was, you got a little gift bag, and it had some nice stuff in it, like a t-shirt or something else. Another one that was even better, you got to meet Mike Aiello. And then the 21 people that were with him, first of all, he would take you over to one of the shops, and they would get you a free t-shirt or whatever you wanted, within reason, like a t-shirt, and your size. Then after that, he would take you through one of the haunted houses. In this case, it was HR Blood and Guts Presents Holidays of Horror. And he'd give you a tour as you go through, and afterwards talk about it and how they did it. And then we all went over to Battery Park, and there was a big Q&A session where he would take all kinds of questions about Horror Nights and answer them. And I thought I'd ask that one big question, are you ever going to do a Lovecraft house? And he said, when the time is right, we will. And we've been planning one for years, but we're waiting for the time to be right. And that's why we've always wondered if there's going to be a Lovecraft house every year, because of the way he answered that question. Interesting stuff from Aiello, a very fun meetup. That was a really cool prize, but the best prize was on the last night, Halloween night. And I was with Charles Bremer and Nancy Murphy and Chris Redfield. We were all going to go into the Forsaken. We were walking into the queue area. And suddenly the tweet up is, we're in the queue over there by Kids Zone, halfway past E.T. And we said, oh, it says we have to meet up at the front of the park at the Lady Luck photo op by the Lucy tribute. So we ran all the way through, back through Kids Zone, through Central Park, ducking through the Garden of Allah, into Central Park, took that down Hollywood Boulevard, running like lunatics all the way to the Lucy tribute. I myself, in that last night, was wearing leather pants, long leather pants, and a hoodie from Peking University. It was kind of sweaty by the time I got there, and I wasn't young then. I'm 53 now, you know, so I was kind of out of breath when I got there. But I'm a little fat, but I survived, and the first 21 people, we were like the first 4 people to show up. But when the first 21 people got there, we found that the grand prize was 2 tickets. 2 free tickets on the night of your choice, within reason, for the event of Halloween Horror Nights 22. And now, it was a bit tricky getting those tickets. I had to jump through a lot of hoops, contacting publicity and marketing with the different, but I did get 2 free tickets to go to Halloween Horror Nights 22 the following year because of that tweet up. Another grand prize that I won. The second grand prize I won the whole damn year, having won before a trip to Italy. That wasn't at Horror Nights though, that was when I bought my Nissan, got me that one. But still, Lady Luck, you know, I must have pleased her, because she certainly smiled at me in 2011. Here she is, my lovely Lady Luck. So Lady Luck was very happy with me, and I was happy with her, and that was the story of Halloween Horror Nights 21, which ended with me winning a prize, 2 free tickets for Halloween Horror Nights 22. Which means, of course, that next time we'll be talking about Halloween Horror Nights 22. as we've now finished Halloween Horror Nights 21 at the end of May. I got through before the end of the month. So, sometime in June probably, I'll start my history of Halloween Horror Nights 22. Once you're inside, there's no way out.